Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jacksmiller. So there are a couple times a year when we break from the usual diet of current affairs, politics, crime, and all that kinds of stuff. And we like to speak to some of our cultural icons, our artists, our musicians. And today, I'm so pleased, we're going to be hearing from Kabaka Pyramid a little later on in the program. First, though, we are going to be talking to Dean Fraser. But before I bring in Dean Fraser, let's listen into a little bit of this. All right, Dean Fraser, thank you so much for joining us on All Angles. It's so great to have you.
Thank you for having me, ma'am.
I wanted to start with that because from everything I've read and heard, your performance, your rendition of Redemption Song seems to have been a very special point in your career, almost a turning point. Would that be right?
Yes, I could say that. Yes, it has been, and it was. Yeah.
Take us back to that. Why it was so impactful? What happened?
Somewhere around 1980, 81, as a young saxophonist, at the time playing with Lloyd Parks and We the People. So when that Uprising album came out, you know, a lot of us got hooked to Redemption Song immediately, you know, and I just decided that I wanted to play this song, you know, on my saxophones. And so I made a couple of attempts, you know, and then I recorded the song down at Joe Gibbs Studios. And unfortunately that year, of course, you know, the gang died and all of that. And then came Reggae Sunsplash down in the July part of the year. And when We the People got to stage at about, I would say somewhere about 1 a.m., we opened with, of course, me playing Redemption Song. And that seemed to have been the talk after that. You could hear a pin drop in Jarrett Park that was full to capacity, and people just didn't say anything or do anything but just listen. And you know, that I think was really a turning point in my career as a saxophone player.
What's it like, or what was it like then for you on stage? Because I know with live music, the energy of the audience is everything. So you're performing and you're getting that absolute silence from the crowd. What was that like?
Silence is also good energy, because that means everyone is listening. And that I think is the best energy you could ever want as an instrumentalist.
Yeah, it's always, I don't know if I want to use the word challenging, but for want of a better word. It's always challenging reinterpreting a great song by a great artist, because the audience knows the song they're familiar with and they know what they want to hear. But of course, you are putting some of your own soul into the music as well. So how do you go about that with a song that's as groundbreaking, as memorable, as iconic as Redemption Song?
Well, first you use the right word. You have to be very soulful and very into the song itself. If you are able to, what people have said, dissect them. If you are able to listen to a song over and over again, learn the song properly, then the only thing you can do after that is play the song and then add your interpretation, which means soul. It means you see different lights coming out of this song. You see blue, you see red, you just see all these colors moving around, and you really just get into yourself and you execute the song. And with people, with 10,000 or more people not making a sound, then is as if you just start ascend. It just is a totally different vibe, and something that I think all musicians, singers, instrumentalists, I think they really love that feeling.
I've never heard, and I've spoken to a lot of musicians, I don't think I've ever heard that kind of description before when you talk about seeing colors and colors moving around. Is it like that for you every time you do a live performance?
Not necessarily, but when it's time for me to perform, right? And I really get into that performance mode. These colors will appear. And, I remember learning that thing from a lady that taught us back in the 70s. Her name was Melba Liston. She was brought to Jamaica by Michael Manley to help to develop the music and the musicians here in Jamaica. And, she would say to me, when you're playing, you should direct your instrument and whatsoever you're playing to somebody in the audience or any amount of people in the audience that you can just bring forth. And if you want to make them cry, make them cry. If you want to make them laugh, make them laugh. And I understood at the time, and I understand now, because I remember growing up in a Sonny Bradshaw 7 band. I remember Mr. Bradshaw used to do it. When he wanted the attention of the audience, he would either play something really attractive, really soulful, and really wicked, or he will just make a strange sound and he will get the attention. So, when you get into that mode and that kind of vibe, and you start to put these colors that are coming back at you and waving around, while you're playing, it's just an awesome feeling.
I have to say, I love watching you play, right? Because what I get from you, apart from the music, even if I turned off the music and watch you, what I'm seeing is intensity and concentration and joy all at the same time. Are there some types of songs, or maybe even some types of artists, that bring out that more forcibly than others?
Yes and no. The thing about playing and is really getting to your audience. And if you are not connecting, you are going to fail in that. That is why I usually tell my artists that I worked with or work alongside that when you come on stage, before you do anything, try to connect. You understand what I'm saying? And when I say connect, you know, just even stand on stage and allow the audience to look straight at you before you even start moving around. You know, it is, and I've seen all the foreign acts do it. You understand me? You will never see Michael Jackson hit the stage and start to move. He would hit the stage and stand in one position and everybody start to scream. Remember, Mr. Ninja Man do it. Mr. all kind of acts do it. But that is the way to get everybody involved. And if you are not able to do that, if you just go out there and you just start to, you know, and you run up and down and because you have a good song and all of that, you know, you really just playing around. You know, when you're performing, you want to have your audience look at you.
All right, hold that thought for me. We're talking to Dean Fraser, viewers, and we're going to be back with him right after the break. Remember, our hashtag is TVJ, all angles soon come.